Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to the Newcastle Gold Cup for 2024 here from the Malabula Sports Complex. It is the women's final. Rogue out of Sydney against Factory Flash from the nation's capital. They've made the long drive up the highway to the St Bay area where this tournament is being hosted. My name is Daniel Clinton, and I'd love to welcome Leanne King, Frisbee royalty, to the box with me. Hello, Leanne.
I think the royalty's just for the last name, right? But
definitely not.
Been around for a while, but yeah, lots of new faces playing in both of these teams. New to me, but some good experience on both teams.
And these two teams gearing up for their Div 1 campaigns. Looking to go see if they can compete for the title at the Australian Ultimate Championships. Rogue and Factory, they played in the time slot immediately before this one. And it was a comprehensive Rogue victory, Leanne. Rogue winning out 11-8, I believe the score was. 11-6. So a very strong start that Factory couldn't haul in the second half, according to Rosa Wang of Factory Flash. I got the inside scoop there. You played both these teams this weekend. Leanne, any insight into how either of these teams are going to line up and how they're going to want to play?
Well, there's the hooter. We'll find out now. I will say I think it's hard to repeat a victory, a comprehensive victory immediately after just finishing a game. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of build their energy for the game. I think in a way, it's probably a tougher assignment for Rogue to repeat that.
So if you were, out there, a leader in this Rogue team, what kinds of things would you be doing to ensure that you maintain those high standards and the previous game kind of just carries on to this game?
I mean, I think you want to take the victory and celebrate that, but you also want to do the little things that you'd been doing in that previous game that were making it work. So organising yourself around the disc so you can reset it when the option's not there, looking at timing your cuts, and of course being as intense as you can be on defence.
Okay, so small focus, big intensity, the insight into what Rogue need to do here. The line call going out now for Rogue. They're going to start on offence by the looks.
And for Factory, I think it's, they're here to upset and they have a point to prove, but they probably don't have as much to lose. So there's a bit of freedom in having that mentality.
The aforementioned Rosa Wang, she's going to be pulling here for Factory. We'll come back to the adjustments that have been made by agreement between the two captains, considering the game that was just played. Wang puts it in the air, so we get this game underway, this women's final for the Newcastle Gold Cup of 2024. Middle of the field. Epstein looking towards Latamatos, I think, who's joined the team. Changing the roster, Celine Tarr. Resetting to Owens, who's had an adjustment in position. She's been handling a much more than she has in the past. Anna Lai, a little low and hard. Latamatos bids. Factory with a turnover. Liz de Hoog walking to the Frisbee. De Hoog breaks the mark, goes to the backhand. Kate Bailey has free arms, will look towards the end zone. It's misread. Kira Bobbin. An injury call. Angela Pigeon looking a little stiff as she comes off. Hopefully she's okay. That's a big name player for this Rogue side. Nez Ruiz coming on to replace her. So it'll be Bronte Sleeth who makes way So the turnover stands. And Eli goes back to pick it up. Epstein providing the first cut out of the horizontal stack for Rogue. Tar. Saw a willingness for Tar to throw. Doesn't have an option that she wants. Latamatos breaks the mark, creating some width for Rogue. Now Ruiz comes back in with a forehand. Lie. Owens getting a good look at the end zone, has Epstein.
It's too bad. There was a really nice progression of play for Rogue there. Really steady heads and taking good options when there wasn't anything presenting downfield. But yeah, I think we're probably going to see the wind effect, even though it's not that strong. Just if you get a bit of an edge in the wind, it can sail over the head.
So De Hoog brings it up, taps it in. Bailey again, power out of the stack. The throw out in front. Frere to Spratt. Now the fill-in cut by Horvat. Wang. The lefty, so she'll break the mark to Bailey. Bailey has the cut. Goes the shorter option, looking for the reset. De Hoog. Spratt's going to fill it in. Keep Factory on offense. Seems like there's a pick call. So Grace Spratt will keep it. You can hear the force calls from the sideline. Spratt to Bobbin. De Hoog looks for the power position move to Spratt. Spratt driving it back into the middle of the field. Wang. Factory creating some width now. Wang, she's went to ground, laid out, and lost it. This first point, 6 minutes deep. No score. Lie. It has a feeling that the last game has just continued into this one. Collision and awkwardness. The disc is on the ground at the moment. Seems like it will stay as a turn. De Hoog. Horvat. De Hoog. Double move, covered well by Epstein. Wang goes with the right-handed backhand. It blades and falls short. Looks like Bailey's caught it. It's up. Factory on the doorstep. Bailey swinging back to the middle. Lie flashes. Wang gets it in. And Factory finally score the first point of the match. And that's a break.
So Roga playing a force middle match defense, which I think Factory have been able to throw around the mark to break the mark. I don't know if they're having as much open space in the middle of the field, though, because of where the defenders are positioned. And that's causing them a bit of problems. But they're making some great bids on the disc, some great catches, and using their bodies to get underneath it.
Very long point to start the game. Probably the best time is now then to discuss the agreement due to the game that happened immediately before this one. The two team leadership groups met and they agreed to shorten the game down to 60 minutes. So it's 60 minutes, game to 13. Just acknowledging that both teams have had a long, tough tournament. This will be the 5th game of the weekend.
So if each point is as long as that last one, value your watching time, people. There may only be 6 to 7 points played.
Palmer. Oh, she's thrown a one that floats up awkwardly. Carpenter with a hearts in mouth moment. That's wayward. And Leanne, it's almost like you played this game for a bit. Your prediction is playing out where Rogue struggling with the fundamentals at the moment. Lim. Frere. Lim comes back and it's DeHoog coming across the stack. She breaks the mark to Kershaw and Factory. The defense from Rogue trying to do what it can to stop their flow and their motion. Lim tries to break the mark, can't get it. Out to Sleeth. And it's Ferrer. Now on the end zone line, Factory to go up. Another break. The short pass in. It's a layout score and it's Lim. So Factory 2-0 in this one.
Yeah, unfortunate poor reception play from Rogue. I think the first errant throw just set in was before there was too much defensive pressure, but it's unlikely that they'll do that again. I've noticed Factory tending to play a straight up force, which has been effective when they've been able to get the marks on.
And a forced middle going the other way.
I wonder if that's what they were playing last game and they're both kind of expecting the same style of defense, or whether they've kept something in their pocket to surprise the other team.
Well, the forced middle is making Factory throw a lot of passes. Downfield defense has been intense. Factory have just been able to work it through so far. Just been able to find a way. Maintaining possession, keeping the score count low. So 2-0.
One thing that's been helping Factory has been their ability to throw break passes around the mark. So good throwers will find a way. And that does limit the effectiveness of any defense, really.
Wang is going to go with a rolling pull that sits up nicely. It gets past two Rogue players. Where it gets to Latamatos. And Latamatos is going to miss on the forehand side. Big opportunity for Factory. Rogue started the last game with a big run. This time, it seems to be Factory. They've started off with a 2-point run. And this is for their third. Sleeth gets up the line. Wang around to Bailey. And then into traffic. Latamatos with a chance at redemption. Latamatos, pressure down the field. She needs a reset. Just out in front of the flashing Spratt. And then it's Wang who follows up with excellent defensive pressure. Kershaw has touched the disc, so I believe she needs to play it. Spratt goes to the break side. Spratt having a look at the end zone. It's low. Wang bidding. Plenty of action in the first instance of this game. Lai to Palmer. To Santos Lee goes. Tamas trying to get something. And still the defense is way too hot. Factory really cranked it up a notch defensively. They have pressure all over the field at the moment. Great high grab by Schubert. Sleeth points and then gets up the line. Oh, what a layout block that is. Bex Palmer. Massive play by the captain. On the up the line. Humongous layout block. Tamas for Rogue. They need something here. Tamas can't get it to Epstein. Another wayward throw that ends in a block. These one-pass possessions killing things for Rogue right now. Wang has been in everything. Sleeth to Bailey. Ever reliable with those hands, Kate Bailey. She's going to break the mark. It bobbles for Corinna Schubert. This is a tough game of ultimate right now. An invaluable preparation. Another one-pass possession for Rogue. Factory grinding it closer and closer to the end zone.
Their defense off the static start has been very effective, limiting options.
Sleeth. Kershaw, nothing doing. Kershaw is going to drop it. Helena Latamaros goes to the disc. Palmer somehow ends up with it. And then Schubert, who'd been in Latamaros' pocket all along. Well, this is a real grinder of a point. The first point of the game was long, and this has nearly been as long. Wang to Sleeth, who backs up to open things up. Tamas flashing on the block. Wang collects it after Kershaw macks it. Kershaw gets the second pass. Low and hard into Schubert. They're right on the end zone line. All they need is a pass back onto the weak side of the field. Sleeth. Wang. They're still in a phone box worth of space at the moment. Sleeth has a break. Decides to thread the needle into Bailey for the score. What a point. A lot of love going the way of Rosa Wang, who was in everything there. That's a tough one.
Does she know how to throw a right-handed backhand? I've only ever seen left-handed backhands. Very, very competent with the disc, very comfortable.
Natural lefty, Rosa Wang. See her pointing back to the open space. Sleeth had spotted Bailey.
The factory defense has just been relentless, stopping that first option, second option, third option, causing a bit of stress for Rogue each time they get in possession.
And so we do have a timeout call. We'll duck to a quick ad, and then we'll be back.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
So the factory defense has been relentless. If you're in the Rogue huddle, what instructions are you giving them to kind of deal with that pressure? What changes would you make?
The defense is tight, so expect that it's going to be hard to get open, and don't be too surprised or disappointed if it doesn't work out the way you want it to. But clear early, give someone else the space, look to use your dump, reset plays to generate more time and just to move the defense around a bit, hopefully get them out of position. Very hard to maintain such a high level of defense throughout a point. I think Rogue have had a couple of situations where they've turned it over quickly, turfed it, lit it out of character, and so that plays into your mind a little bit each time you get the disc after that. I would expect them to lift and make some connections like they usually do.
Well, 3-0. At the moment, it's a scoreline we might expect in football. And nearly a third of the time gone. Even Lim. To pull for Factory. The interesting thing is that whoever wins this game will have their name engraved on the trophy. Immortal glory in the Gold Cup. Owens drives Thea Osmond in and away. And now Rhea Carpenter goes with a big forehand that's going to hang for a long time, and then it's going to come a long way back. A huge pack forms. Kira Bobbin, I think, getting the block.
It is a very Gold Cup.
Lovely matte gold as well.
You wouldn't want your name engraved on anything less.
Lim trying to reach around the edge, get it around the outside of Matty Owens, who's was playing that all the way. Owens, who's previously been such a strong receiver, now a lot of handling duties. Bit of a change of position. Healy. Healy looking to keep that stall count low. Gets to Carpenter, and Carpenter's going to run it back. She's going to put it against Lim. This time it pops up. Bobbin catching it. She walks it to the end zone line, just checking with Liz DeHoog. Lim was aggressive on that defense, just boxing Angela Pigeon out. Now big huck going back. Owens underneath it. She does well. She climbs up there. Walks away from it. Janacek wants to get it in. Looking again for Carpenter. Carpenter to Pigeon. Owens running past. Owens, a sharp one from Carpenter. The iconic pink scrunchie of Matty Owens. Osmond goes the around. Huge bid. Trying to stop it. Lim has misread the motion down the field. So Rogue another opportunity. Carpenter, tough spot to be. She's called the horizontal. Looks towards the middle, and Janacek gets jammed up against the throwing lane. And Owens, another sharp one for her. Factory have ground this one. Another turnover, this time deep in the red zone. Osmond making the play call as she comes to the disc. Isolating Kira Bobbin. Bobbin goes to the break side. Osmond doesn't get what she wants. She goes for the break, looking to the front of the end zone. It's Pigeon. Awareness on the play. Bit of discussion on the mark by Osmond. Erin Healy there. Not sure about this one, Leanne. Doesn't seem like a foul or no. There was much that she was throwing to.
Yeah, it would have been a good spot if someone was cutting there. Yeah, she's definitely a player that makes things happen, though, so I'd back her decisions.
She identified the space and then got the disc there. Just that Angela Pigeon, such a gifted scorer in her own right, I think was reading the exact same thing. Another sharp one. Here's Pigeon. And Healy is busting, but close to the line, so not much of a throwing lane for Pigeon to work with. Rogue will need to reset it. High stall situation. She just bombs it to the end zone. Seems that the turnover is going to stand as Osmond keeps it playing.
Stall count.
Very quick stall.
Stall out here.
Very, very quick. We have a bit of a rule, ULTI.TV. Most stall outs are only about 7 seconds. So
you think?
Yeah, if in doubt, don't call a stall.
Yeah, you really want to slow down those last couple of counts. But it's hard when you're so excited.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You know, you hit 7, you hit 8, they've still got the disc. You're thinking, oh, I'm in for a chance here.
Yeah.
But in that of itself, there's also a bit of pressure, isn't there? You know, if you count nice and loud, 8, 9. As a thrower, you know, you need to keep your cool because you need to get rid of it. You still got it on 10.
Yep.
That's a stall out, so
And
it'll stay here.
Yeah, I think the option she took to just get it down the other end was a good one, although in this situation, not soon enough. Let's see if she goes and gets another block.
Deadman, just walks Maddie Owens over to the dead space and then drives back away, centering the disc. Rogue trying to lift in intensity. It's Osmond. Bobbin off the front of the stack. Power cutting by Kira Bobbin. Lim. Stutter step from Osmond. The Hoog fills in. Keeps Factory on offense. Deadman. A critical cut there. Osmond, huge in the air. Saves the offense. She gestures. Bring it in, guys. Bobbin, she's been in everything. To back to Thea Osmond for the score. And Factory are rolling in this one. 4-0 against Rogue.
Another long point there. Quite a few turns. Good defense.
Absolutely brutal on the field at the moment. Multiple turnovers every point. Rogue looking a little shell-shocked.
I like how Rogue started that point quite confidently with a couple of long looks. Unfortunately, didn't get the connections they were after. But it was something different, and it was a different look. It gave them a chance to get back into the game. So hopefully they'll come up with something to build their confidence this point. But Thea Osmond, great grab in the air, presence of mind to call the stack to the middle, get things settled.
You did mention she gets things done.
And then she does it herself in the end.
That throw by Bobbin, not entirely what she was looking for, I don't think. It wobbled out of the hand and was a bit low. Osmond, the athlete, gets to it and it doesn't matter. Well, Rogue still looking for answers. The shoe is very much on the other foot. In the first game, Rogue were out to this kind of lead, 4-0. But now it's Factory. With a shortened game, we're almost at halfway. Only 37 minutes, 33 minutes to go.
We should add a couple of minutes. A little more entertainment.
Well, I'm enjoying it, that's for sure. Tar. Well, pass by Nez Ruiz. Wayward back in the middle, so a turnover. Spratt goes to Schubert, who says ole. And now it's Nez Ruiz going back to get the block. Latamados goes to ground to save. Oh, Palmer is looking a little bit proppy. So a bit of a rolled ankle for Palmer. So let him out, also keep this one. Slight violation. Tamas is in a lot of space. I think she needs to get the Frisbee here. Oh, Spratt does a great job closing it down. Owens. Owens still just engaging on Latamados. Wang bidding. The pressure is still there. Latamados does a good job there. Owens. Owens, a little bit of frustration showing. Epstein, back to Owens. Owens driving the offense, the outside in pass. It's over the top. who is so speedy. She's so fast. Tracks that down and goes back.
It was a bit of a different look by Rogue then. They regenerated the disc a number of times. Looked like there was some more dynamic movement amongst the handlers. It helps when you hold on to the disc for a little longer for more passes, but taking the right options and being patient when looking downfield. And in the end, I think Owens just wanted the point scored and put the pedal to the metal.
That's what great players do.
It was a good time for it.
They take the right opportunity.
Yep,
The right choice in the right opportunity.
They've got their first point and they have their opportunity to come down in a tight defense. Maybe make a bit of a shift in the feeling of the game.
In the semi-final on the far field. Either Fishwick or Ibeam are up a break, not sure which. But one team in front, slightly. And here, one team in front, significantly. Meanwhile, on that far field over there, Ubeam looks like they're on serve in their match against the Manly Moes. So the first O point of the game for Factory. Saskia Blackburn, we haven't seen much of her. Oh, and the offense that's gotten cold on the sideline. Sarah Ethel missing air. Oh, a turnover. Pigeon's going to make a call. Discussion between her and Katie Snellgrove. And for the first time today, Caitlin Grange on the field. There, Osmond gesturing that she's got an opinion. She's a long way removed. Can you see, Leanne, what the discussion is about here?
Both teams have been contesting the undershots a lot, so it's going to be whether or not the rogue player had a chance at it or the contact was made by the other team.
Snellgrove, looks like she gets involved from Angela Pigeon's blind side, so Pigeon never knowing that she's there and potentially the...
Yeah, it's a tough call. It's a bit of a 50-50, I'd say. It's not a bad call, but in the end she retracts it.
It's always that fine line between dangerous play, was it a foul? Hard to tell. So Osmond looks off Caitlin Grange. Air. Grange is pulled out of her cut. I think Air was expecting her to keep going.
So Rogue with another opportunity. The disc keeping things equitable. And we'll see the tough defense on the undercuts from Factory again.
Saskia Blackburn playing a long way off the back at the moment. Just expecting some sort of throw over the top. Knowing that the near side receiver is pretty much out of the play, it being a horizontal set. Oh, Carpenter is going to make a call. A violation. Actually a fast count, I would guess. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, well, ULTI.TV know that in general counts are fast, so it's probably a safe guess.
We got really nerdy one night. We went back in the archives and we added up a bunch of stall outs and we averaged them out and they were about 7.5 seconds. So
I mean,
I'm sorry, that's what we do for fun. I know we're boring. I know we're nerdy. It was. We're sharing a laugh with Rosa Wang on the sideline, who's a data analyst. She's like, I'm all about that.
Oh, get her on the case.
I want to be invited to that party. She's like, I'll run a t-test on that. We'll see if it's statistically significant. Oh, dear. So Osmond on the doorstep. Grange just comes to the front, demanding the disc. Osmond back to Grange. Grange to break. Oh, and it's been stripped as she hit the ground. Yu Chen Yin. Your interpretation here, Leanne?
I couldn't see it. Oh, I'm going to watch it now. That is a ground strip, which I don't think allows you to keep possession of the disc.
Yeah.
But
one of the most heartbreaking things, I think, in Ultimate. You've caught it, but if you lose it on contact with the ground, it's
tragic.
a turnover.
Yeah. So the discussion's always around control, and it'll be interesting to see how this works out.
I think that I'm afraid that's a ground strip, my friend, and that's a turnover. I remember I caught a layout in a league final, and I actually spilled the disc underneath me, and no one saw it. No one knew, and I kind of grabbed the disc and I stood up, and everyone was kind of celebrating. I was like, no, guys, I ground strip. It's turnover. You got to be honest.
The ground is on no one's team.
Yeah,
the ground is the enemy.
Does not care. Lie. Pigeon's got it half a step. She comes to the disc.
Pigeon means business this point.
That's a mean pigeon.
Wouldn't want to be defending her.
No, you wouldn't want to meet her in a park. She will take all the bread that you've got. Blackburn. Air off the front of the stack. Grange, quick movement back to Blackburn. Grange getting involved in the offense for Factory Flash. And Grange going to reach all the way to the end zone. It's Sarah Ethel in the end zone. Another score for Factory. They go to 5-1.
Factory just showing more patience with the disc. When the defense gets tough, the cuts are covered. They've been able to stop looking downfield, take the reset, and then look down again. To steady the ship. Rogue, in contrast, I think they've been looking more for the power play, try to get their best players in the best positions.
This will be the inaugural debut win for Factory if they win the Gold Cup here. The first time they've achieved such a feat. Rogue have done it twice in the past. First in 2017 and then in 2018.
There was also a team who won in 2016 called Clench Butt. Important to note.
It's on that trophy forever now. You got to leave it to some of these Ultimate Frisbee teams. They do love their
butt jokes.
Yes. Juvenile humour. Clench, of course, were some incarnation of Bench, who they love to change their name to some Ench.
Dench.
With a commiserate photo of Judy Dench, Dame Judy Dench. Brunch was in there.
Just a brunch of Frisbee players.
I love that pun. Healy out of the stack. Now Tar going short to Owens. Owens have bombed that throw. The last time Rowe scored. Owens gets up the line, the throw into the end zone. Heading for Nez Ruiz. That's her second goal of the game.
And the first hold for no turnovers.
Remarkable that 38 minutes is what it's taken for a clean offensive point. It has been a defensive grind.
That'll feel good for Rogue. It might help with some of the mental turnovers that have happened earlier in the game. Just little miscues.
I'm going to ask you a question for later. Best Frisbee story you got?
I'll think about it.
All right. So I didn't want to put you completely on the spot.
I'll say one of the best.
One of the best?
Okay. I'll
All
think
right.
about it.
Those the next few points, we might get to halftime. But we are 2/3 gone in this match. So whether or not we get there remains to be seen. Rogue are going to come out on defense. It's Raya Carpenter holding the disc.
This O-line hasn't had much of a chance to run around.
Been a quiet day for them.
Their work's being taken care of.
So interesting to see whether Rogue come out with this forced middle again. Being a defensive point. Janacek leading the charge. Osmond. They run a give-go between her and Air. Osmond. Ethel. Osmond has to elevate. Ethel giving some sort of cut. Grange. Tight mark by Janacek. Air comes back to fill in. Ethel. Deadman trying to get involved. Grange gets a reset. The break, Epstein getting in front of Blackburn. You sensed it coming. The momentum for the factory offense had run out. And they just had nobody to kind of regenerate their flow. Pigeon comes under as Palmer goes out. Palmer just gets away from her. So Rogue give it back to Factory. Grange getting the disc off the sideline. Ethel in a lot of space. Yeah, strong cutting. Now the break under contested. Grange tangling with Janacek. There's an injury as Janacek, a bit dusty as she got up there.
Rogue have been able to intensify their defense, contesting the unders a little bit more strongly than previously. Bit more energy. Really making the factory handlers have to work hard to keep the disc alive.
Janacek just coming to the sideline a little bit dizzy. Palmer is going to look for Pigeon. Pigeon's in a crowd, but Pigeon floats above the flock.
She's probably someone you'd choose to throw a contested deep throw to. Very strong in the air, very confident.
Very big receiving window. You could throw it to a lot of places. Angela Pigeon's just going to go and get it.
Bit of a turnaround for Rogue.
They're coming back into this.
It's been a long game so far, only 8 points scored. So they're still in it if they're able to turn this around quickly.
So in this timeout, we're going to duck to a quick ad break, have a drink of water, and we'll be coming back with Leanne King's, one of Leanne King's favourite Frisbee stories, ahead of our return to this women's final here from the Newcastle Gold Cup for 2024.
Those who do not know their history can never relive it. The skies, the dives, the sideline smiles. Our past is held in photo albums, drinking stories. The present is a gift. And here at ULTI.TV, we want to make sure we always appreciate it, capturing the immortal moments of Ultimate from around the world and making sure everyone can enjoy them for free, forever. Because the future belongs to all of us.
So the two teams huddled up. Rogue there on camera. Tell us a story, Leanne.
I couldn't think of the best one, but a memorable one of my first uni games back in 2000. Started playing Frisbee. 2 weeks later, was recruited for the uni games team because they only had 3 women. One had never played Frisbee before, so they really wanted maybe one more person. And then I turned up to the tournament. We rode the Greyhound bus to Adelaide from Newcastle. It was a long ride.
Wow.
Very committed.
That in itself is a great story.
And didn't know what was going on, this Frisbee thing. Went to the opening night meeting, and the president of Ultimate Frisbee was giving, you know, the welcome speech and all of the formalities. But every time he would have a glass of beer, a schooner of beer in his hand, the crowd would demand that he drank it. So he didn't get a chance to say anything. He did drink a lot, and everyone was entertained. So that was
Wow.
kind of like an intro.
The Greyhound bus from Newcastle to Adelaide.
The following Adelaide tournament, which was 2 years after that, we decided to put a little bit more money into it, and we hired a minibus. It was still a very long ride.
Wow. That's just a little bit about some of the stories that this sport offers us. Some of the great stuff that happens. Just this game of ours, it's a little bit funny, a little bit crazy.
I think my favourite stories are the ones that are off the field.
Mm.
The game itself is a lot of fun, but the frivolity that it enables.
And the people you share it with as well.
Mostly that, yep.
Team cohesion important, and both of these teams seem quite cohesive. Early in the season, still building that chemistry. But definitely a desire shared by everyone on the field. Janacek back on the field, shaking off the ill effects of that contest where she collided with another player. Oh, and that is hooked on the finger of Katie Snellgrove. It's come out the side of the hand.
Bit of a gift for Rogue.
And a lie. Slintar. Short to Maylee Gow. Owens gets up the line, covered by Air. Janacek, high stall situation. The bailout is there, so the stall is reset. Back to 0 they go. Rogue on the far side of the field. Dos Santos Lee comes back to Janacek. Owens centralising the disc for Rogue. Janacek. Owens goes up the line, generating a little bit of movement. Trying to change the angle of attack. Goes around to Janacek. She gets there. And Janacek just pauses for a moment for Maddie Owens to make the cut all the way across the field for the score.
Rogue were able to capitalise on that mistake by Factory, which is something that Factory was able to do earlier in the game. So it's not as if they've gone without that benefit. But Rogue are really valuing the disc.
Maddie Owens has kicked it into a new gear. She's in everything right now. Really sensing that her team needs her to lift. And lift she has. So Rogue come back. Three-point run for them.
Yep, we're getting a bit more of a game now. And yeah, I would agree. Owens has been the game changer this last couple of points, putting her legs out there for the team, that she's running things through. She's working hard when she doesn't have the disc and really creating opportunities for Rogue.
Bex Palmer with the disc in hand. Seems like a very smiley character, Tess Bex Palmer.
Yep, and she's doesn't seem to be affected by the injury she took earlier in the game, so that's a good thing.
Big smile as she pulls the disc. Blackburn. Pass to Grange. Cut off by the mark. Ethel. Grange in short range situations. Can't get it, so it goes back to Osmond. Osmond nodding towards Bobbin. Bobbin, it's bobbled. Rogue, a huge opportunity in this game to come back to 5-all after being adrift without a map. Pigeon, it falls. Well caught by Angelina Lee. Amados can't get it. Comes around. Palmer in the red zone. She looked to the end zone. No, she overthrows Latamatos. A huge turnover. Bobbin's gone. The straight up mark is on. Grange just goes around it with a big outside in backhand. Huge throw by Caitlin Grange to Kira Bobbin.
What a perfect throw for the moment. She was really creating some good and growing separation downfield. As soon as the disc was turned, she knew to head deep.
Well, nothing between her and the end zone. Bobbin just takes off. Latamatos is on the ground. And Grange recognising. I'd love to see Bex Palmer get closer there. As Grange just goes around her with a big outside in. Bobbin immediately, as the disc goes to the ground, she's looking over her shoulder, seeing if there's a thrower near it. She's like, guys, pick it up. I'm in the end zone.
I mean, it doesn't even need to be that good of a throw. It was a very good throw, but I got the sense she was willing to cover a lot of ground just to get it in the end zone. So
the opportunity for Rogue to level it up at 5. Lapses. 6-4 Factory.
Factory are back in it. Bit quiet for a moment, but even in a 60-minute game, there's been a few switches of momentum. Opportunities for both.
Well, Rogue still within 2 points. Imagine at 60 minutes they're going to put on a soft cap, so it'll add 1 to the highest score and play to that. Rogue are going to have an opportunity later, but they need to stay within touch, and that starts with converting their O point. Healy. Just stuck for a moment, can't find Owens. The around mark by Lim. Carpenter goes all the way around. Ma Owens, Mercedes Janacek.
That's one way to take advantage of a high stall count. Both dumps were covered quite considerably, only to get a release point further downfield. 2
assists now for Mercedes Janacek. And 2 scores for Maddie Owens, along with an assist to go with it. Those two getting all up in the action.
The dynamic mark from the Factory player then almost paid off, but in the end.
Carpenter just kept going, didn't she? She's gone all the way around. Lim trying to stop the dump.
Not your conventional dump cut, but sometimes the situation requires non-conventional. So within 1 now.
Non-conventional ultimate. What's something that's non-conventional but effective, do you think, in ultimate?
I think creative throws, like whether it's just different angles on throws you'd ordinarily, your regular outside in. I think a blade is a non-conventional but can be very effective if used correctly. I had been working on the throw between the legs for a little while when I was struggling against a particular tall defender.
Well, you and I kind of share a trait of being not particularly tall. Oh, this is a throw that's just going to put him in a foot race. Pigeon goes. Pigeon has put everything on there, step for step. Yu Chin Yin as well there. Pigeon goes first. It looks like Pigeon gets the Frisbee. Oh, it is Pigeon who gets there first.
Yeah.
The black glove.
There's a big bid at high speed, so she's taken a bit of the brunt of the ground. The enemy of the game. She's standing up.
Yeah, rub on the back.
Maybe grab a drink of water, relax for a minute. What a run, though.
Great defense. Yu Chin Yin looked like she had it. Rogue. Big moment in this game, 6-5 down. To level it here, take it to 6-all at 5 minutes left to play. Go time isn't now, it's got to be soon. And a lie. Dos Santos Lee. Latamaros. Had a tough game as Elena Latamaros with that disc somehow working out. The reset, the give go. It pops up a little bit high. Tar. Back to Palmer. And Grange has come across to try and create some pressure. And there was enough there that the forehand from Palmer has gone past the intended receiver. Air breaking. Oh, Palmer gets it back.
What a block.
Dos Santos Lee. And Mei Lee Gao comes back into Latamaros, who breaks. Palmer in the middle of the field. Good spot to be. She's going to reach for the end zone. Dos Santos Lee. Yeah, they've leveled it up. Have Rogue. They are well and truly back in this game. And we have a final worth talking about. 6-all now. Rogue. Resurgent.
And the comeback. Rogue have had a couple of different situations where one player on the field has really stepped up. Palmer premeditated that cut and throw and just got the run through D like it was nothing earlier in this point. And then she was able to turn that around in offense too. Find the spaces and then feed it downfield. Open player in stride. Easy catch.
I've got another question for you, Leanne. I was talking to John Greenfield earlier about the changes in Ultimate over the years. I'd love to get your perspective. How has women's Ultimate in particular changed over the years?
Oh, it's much better. The standard is incredible.
Yes, okay.
Players of today wouldn't recognise the game from 20 years ago. I think the young players, as they come through now, I think there's just so much more support and knowledge out there, and older players who have huge wealth of knowledge feeding that back down to younger players. They just come into the game with so many more skills, so many good habits for the game, just an understanding of strategy that back in the day it was a bit more scrappy, let's say.
Yeah, hit or miss, you had to kind of figure it out on yourself. It sounds like there's a little bit more warmth and welcoming.
Yeah.
For the newer players. That sounds really cool, actually. That's a really lovely change. And speaking of young players that have made their way into the game, Thea Osmond, to Wang, goes through the gloved hands. Grange, there's the right-handed backhand. Deadman goes back to Grange, who's found some separation. Osmond on the break side. We'll go back to the forehand. It's low, though, and Healy in the throwing lane recognises the throw. Factory. They can't get their offense done, so it falls to Rogue. Carpenter Looks towards Tamas. Janacek gets enough separation. The high release. Bobbin. Bobbin going up big. Nez Ruiz on the ground. Looks like she's holding it back. Ooh. On second look, this does float up there. Leanne, what's your take on this?
That did not look comfortable.
Do you think there's a foul there?
I don't know. I think it was a miscue. So it wasn't intended, I don't think, for that player. So a little less predictable. Bit more contestable.
Bobbin coming from the backside.
Yeah.
So that's the awkward part.
Yeah.
Nez Ruiz doesn't know that she's there.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that line between dangerous play, foul.
Yeah.
Is it one? Is it the other? You see Bobbin just sailing in.
Yeah, and that's one of those situations where even though she gets the hand on the disc first, she does win that, but you need to...
And this is that question of what is each player comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
Because in a men's match, a lot of men would be okay with that kind of contact, even though it is against the rules.
Yeah.
To the letter of the law that, there should be no contact at all, ever.
Before, during, or after.
Yeah. But a lot of men do have that kind of interpretation that if it's after the play and it's a little bit incidental, then we'll just play on because we're guys and we reckon we're really tough.
Oh, and they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right to your point about what players kind of agree to do within a game, and sometimes people are fine with that, and that's how the game of Frisbee should go. Respect and consistency, and obviously you want to be mindful not to hurt anyone, but the most respectful thing you can do is fight for the disc, in a way that's clean, but you're competing all the time.
Yep. So Janacek will get this one back. Carpenter, just the give go. Carpenter up the line. She's in a bit of a power position. She's going to free up the arms and unleash the backhand. Wang rises though.
She did
comfortable.
Some analytical data on that throw as it went up, and
there's a Monte Carlo simulation running, I think, in her brain. I'm going to run out of the data analysis puns. I studied psychological science. My statistics is limited. Grange decides not to go to Denman. We'll go to Snellgrove instead. Wang was free. Snellgrove goes back to Osmond. Stall's going to get up. Blackburn goes up the line. That's it looked good out of the hand, but Blackburn was just underneath the disc.
Just had a bit of a tough angle.
So Rogue fighting this down the field. Their field position now much improved. Carpenter, Janacek, who's been heavily involved. Healy on the break side, had the hammer if Janacek could get it to her. And the hammer she does go to. She's heard me. It falls through everyone.
Well, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take.
Just needed Angelina Lee there. Just
everyone loves a hammer, even when it doesn't work out.
Osman to Wang. The force middle is on for Rogue. They're just trying to jam this disc back to the middle of the field. Create some mayhem. Grange under heavy pressure from Nez Ruiz.
Factory are struggling with the oppressive defense that Rogue are putting on them at the moment.
Imagine we're going to get a game to 8 here in this final. Tamas. Healy settles underneath it. The body fakes by Healy to Nez Ruiz. Then they sense it.
Rogue have taken the lead for the first time this game. And what a time to take the lead.
Indeed, what a time to do it. Deep into time cap. So, bit of discussion as to what they're going to do. We're going to eavesdrop.
The suggestion of taking a half-time now.
It's 64 minutes.
Something you got to love about Frisbee is that we're talking about half-time after
Time cap.
the time cap is gone.
I remember the rules. There used to be a rule that if you called timeout after
Yes.
time cap, it was turnover.
Yep.
No end to controversy of that one. And it seems like, yeah, we're going to have a halftime break. Interestingly, Leanne, that they'll take a long break here rather than a shorter timeout break.
You got to think this is definitely to the advantage of Factory with the momentum going Rogue's way at the moment. Smart move.
Oh, well, the conclusion of this game on the other side of half, we're going to take a quick break. We'll play some ads and play some replays, and then Leanne King and I will rejoin you for the conclusion of this match to decide the champion for the Newcastle Gold Cup of 2024.
We are a group of ultimate players, coaches and video enthusiasts. We've worked with the major federations and the greatest events.
We're on a mission to make Ultimate huge. We want our videos and live streams to be free to watch,
We want to make stories that not only reach you,
but also reach people outside the Ultimate community.
Like and subscribe, ULTI.TV, the best in the world.
Become a member and
fund
fund
our work to cover more events in the future and to bring more stories and live coverage to the eyes of the ultimate world and beyond.
It sounded really good.
So as the replays run from the first half, Daniel Clinton here, joined by Leanne King. It's been a good women's final. I've enjoyed this game. It looked one-sided for so long. Factory just fast out of the gates, intense on defense.
Much more interesting than a trading game, I think. It's fun to see a team make a comeback. Because really, at any point of the game, you can still score points and continue to put the other team under pressure. It doesn't matter what the score difference is. Momentum's important, especially when trying for connections and when the defense is tightening up. If you've got momentum, you can just make a little bit more out of opportunities as they present.
See some of the highlights from the first half. There's plenty of them. Hard fought. Stats from the first half. Maddie Owens doing so much. Same with Mercedes Janacek. Nez Ruiz popping up with 3 goals.
Game to 8.
Seems like it's a game to 8. Rogue up. Be great if we had a universe point game on 7-all. That'd be an ULTI.TV special. We're a big fan of the Galaxy point.
Yeah, well, if it goes to plan, Factory definitely wanted to push the opportunity to have a half and regroup, get back on offense. I would expect nothing less.
So Palmer, a look of concentration as she wings the scoreboard. And that is a precise spot, because I reckon it crossed the line exactly there. Osmond walking to it. Osmond looks pretty happy with it.
Disc has been located.
Owen's just happy to play. Grange. Well, there's a turnover.
It was a premeditated play, I'd say. It was a good look. Very confident. And now Factory get to play some defense.
And they will have to play defense. They do have the length of the field to do it in, so 60 metres to defend. Lanamaros has had such a tough game this game.
They're playing with one deep again, trying to give other defenders the opportunity to cover their players under.
Palmer reaching for Annalai. Bobbins underneath it. Lai flies. So Factory will get it back, this time from the middle of the field. Palmer calls a switch with the Lamaros to get across onto Grange. Wang under pressure from Tar. Wang out in front. Strong catch with strong hands. Grange gets clipped on the way through that disc out. Rogue get it back again. Nervous times. The opportunity to win the Gold Cup. Immortality. Great break. Around the corner they go, Rogue. Some flow down the field. Maylee Gower gets hand blocked by Sarah Ethel. A huge moment. Rogue were in. And Osmond sees Bobbin streaming down the field. Bobbin has Ethel in front of her. Goes to give go. Ethel's going to drop it on the goal line. Hands on heads, Kira Bobbin. Humongous backhand from Thea Osmond. Owens immediately. We're going coast to coast. Palmer has it. Has players streaming past her. It's another turnover. Ham Sutton this time. Factory need this to take it to Universe Point. High stall situation. Osmond still got it. It's Grange who bails her out. And now pointing to Wang. Overthrowing.
A lot of highlights in this point already.
It's really been a story of the game. Owens. Owens looking. Does find the reset to Sutton. And doesn't get it back. It comes off the left hand awkwardly. Bobbin's gone. Osmond spots her. Throws the outside in to the run of Bobbin. And we're going to Universe Point. Factory.
They go one better that time. What a combination.
Kira Bobbin is deadly.
To have someone so willing to repeatedly run towards the end zone and to be so open.
It's almost like Thea Osmond got everything she wanted for Christmas this year in the form of Kira Bobbin. Someone who's just relentless in their intent to attack the end zone. You see where she comes from? She's 15 yards deeper than Osmond. Osmond walks to it, picks it up, and Bobbin is just busting.
And Owens is right onto it. She understands what's happening, starts running, although the momentum, the separation's already there.
See the moment she realises, she's like, oh no, Bobbin is at full pace.
It's good heads up D, but sometimes you just got to go catch it.
An outside in throw by Thea Osmond as well.
Yeah, Bobbin's having a great game on defense as well. So we're 7-7. We got what we wanted.
Universe point on Galaxy point. And this is to go on to the trophy.
They're lovely gold.
Sporting immortality.
You wouldn't want to be on a different coloured cup.
Sugar Magnolias are on there. 2021 champions.
What a time. I don't even remember it. It was hot. It was a hot one.
It was a hot day.
Yeah, it was a really hot. I think maybe the final, it was a similar situation to this where we just played a game against the team we were going to play the final.
So here we go. This is to decide it. Horvat is going to leave it all on the field. Carpenter. Epstein. Epstein's going to go long to Pigeon. Pigeon's going to lay out for it again. It goes to ground, so Factory will have an opportunity. Surprised, no Grange, no Kira Bobbin out there for Factory. Osmond's playing both ways. Looks like Kershaw's going to be first cut. No, it's Grace Spratt from the back of the stack. And Spratt, oh, it's past her. So another opportunity for Rogue. Is this going to be their third title? Is this going to be victory for them? Carpenter calls them off the field. Janacek's been brave. She's done so much. Into the end zone. They've done it. Have Rogue. They win for 2024. They are the champions, and Factory fall at the final hurdle.
Not how I would have predicted this game to go.
Well, given the start of the match where Factory were out in front, it's been brave by Rogue. 8-7. 8-7 in the end. Factory dejected. Left to rue what could have been. Oh, Leanne, I want to know from you, what are your closing thoughts?
Just so exciting having that, having that deficit to start with and then being able to somehow find something to get the connections working that weren't working and then some. But yeah, Factory played really well. Tough defense, which put Rogue into that hole to start with. But yeah, who knows what happened.
Some stats to finish the game. Janacek finishing with 3 assists, 4 scores on the game for Nez Ruiz. Big time result for them. Well played. If you had to pick a MVP, one from each team, Leanne, who would you select?
Oh,
who really made a difference?
I probably could pick 5 or 6 from each team. I think Owens.
You can only pick one.
Owens was instrumental, I think, in the change
for
Rogue and really turned it on. A couple of unfortunate errors early in the game, but really honed in and made a big difference for the team. Janacek, consistent throughout the game.
And for Factory?
For Factory, it's hard to look past Bobbin with those couple of really big plays that made a difference, but Thea Osmond, so confident, calm around the disc, directing play, creating opportunities.
Still so young too, early 20s for her. And a bright future in front of them. Well, congratulations to Rogue. They are the champions of the Newcastle Gold Cup for 2024. They're going to go be engraved onto the beautiful trophy.
Immortality.
Sporting immortality. So on behalf of Leanne King, my name is Daniel Clinton. Thank you for joining us in this ULTI.TV production. We'll be back for the men's final very soon, so don't go anywhere. There's more Frisbee yet to come.
ULTI.TV.